Well, hi, it's Rod Miller from Pacific Residential Mortgage with my three-pointer of the week, another installment of my weekly video series where I touch on 3 points related to the real estate and mortgage industries to keep agents informed and better equipped to serve their clients at the highest level. Today I'm recording from my backyard, actually a place where I am typically found shooting actual three-pointers here. One of the most relaxing things I can do, and really enjoy when I get a chance to do it with my kids especially. So that's the venue for this week's three-pointer. So let's get started. Point number one, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant here about mortgage companies that advertise mortgage rates, especially on the radio. So deceptive, so misleading. Great example, I was driving to work this week, heard an advertisement come on. They were talking about how it's a great time to pull cash out of your property and make improvements or consolidate debt, and you can do it at a fixed rate of 3%. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, 3% fixed, that's a pretty dang good rate. Tell me more. And so they continue to talk about all the things you do with your cash and how you can get a fixed rate 3%. At the very end of the ad, kind of when the fine print would roll on the screen, they say, oh, by the way, this is an FHA 15-year fixed rate loan with a minimum equity position at 15%. All right, couple of points. Number one, FHA announced a couple of months ago that the minimum equity position for a cash-out refinance is 20%. So first off, this company is advertising a product that doesn't exist, so there's a little bit of an issue already. But secondly, I've been originating mortgage loans for over 23 years, and would you like to guess how many FHA 15-year fixed-rate loans I've put clients into over those 23 years? Yeah, zero. It's like the worst way you can apply a mortgage product for a client. Nobody in their right mind would opt for a FHA 15-year fix. You're putting them into mortgage insurance for 11 years. That's insane. So the point of all this is when you hear advertisements on the radio and they talk about rates, know right off the bat it's probably misleading. Oftentimes lenders are showing rates or promoting rates that have 3 or 4 discount points. They want to make their rate sound so attractive that they're going to pick up the phone and call, and then they'll switch them into a different product. And it's really difficult for ethical lenders to compete in a market where the public is being misled. So if you could do your part as an agent to help counsel your clients, let them know, hey, don't believe everything you hear on the radio, call and get an accurate rate quote specific to your loan scenario, that's the best way to go about finding what is the accurate rate for the day. Okay. Point number two, kind of continuing on the theme of bad acting in the mortgage lending industry, happened to see a social media post by 2 well-meaning real estate agents that were thanking a local lender for giving them tickets to a sporting event. And seems innocent enough. However, they are actually announcing to the world that they have just accepted an illegal inducement from a lender. And it's the biggest violation or the biggest example of violating RESPA that you can imagine. A realtor accepting an item of value from a lender in exchange for referrals. And it may not have to be an exact exchange for a referral, meaning you give me a referral and I'll give you tickets to a game, but that's not the way the CFPB looks at it. And why this is really important and why I'm sharing this with you today is if this becomes something that the federal regulators investigate, they're not going to go after just the lender, but they're going to go after the real estate agent as well, knowingly accepting an item of value. And we have existing examples of how this has happened. When the CFPB comes in and investigate, they will fine and sanction both the lender and the real estate agent involved. So please be careful if you ever get offered something of value. It can be as innocent as tickets to a game or a nice expensive meal or taking you out on a river cruise, whatever it might be. Know that that's a violation and you're exposing yourself, potentially your license, to practice real estate if you accept those type of things. So just be very, very careful with the lenders that you work with. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about your elevator speech. I've mentioned this before in a previous video. But really master your elevator speech. There's going to be so many occasions where people are going to come up to you and say, hey, by the way, what do you do for a living? And please don't give them the old, oh, I'm in real estate, because guess what? Everybody knows someone who's in real estate. You need to make your response to that question much more powerful, much more lasting, much more memorable. So for example, don't just say what it is that you are, like I'm a realtor. Say, you know what? I'm a specialist in residential properties in the Forest Heights neighborhood, and I work with business owners and their employees to help them find their dream homes and maximize the selling price of the homes that they want to sell. That type of response is just kind of an example. It's going to be a much different conversation with that person who inquired, and you might even be able to follow up and say, oh, by the way, are you in your dream home? And see where that conversation goes. Again, you want this to be short and concise, but memorable, and really encourage you to work on your own elevator speech, make it specific to you and make it sound natural, but make sure it's impactful and effective, okay? That's it for this week. Thanks for hanging in there. It's a little bit longer video, but as I mentioned, there's a couple of things that kind of got my goat up this week, and I wanted to make sure I shared that with you. Have a great week, and remember, you can't make the shots you don't take, so get in the game, call for the ball, and take your best shot. Bye-bye.